just got out of the gym. Trying to do Facebook on the elliptical was not an easy chore. My punctuation was very bad today. So, day in the life of a selectman. I'll start with Monday because I skipped Monday. Monday I started out with a sales meeting because I'm going to be doing real estate. So I'm starting the actual learning sales stuff before I get to the actual classes, which I'll start in October. So after that, I think I answered some emails, like select board emails. I went to lunch with a friend, took a phone call. I was at lunch, then went to a select board meeting at, I usually get there about 5. Meeting starts at 5:30. We met with the Department of Education and Elementary and Secondary Education, the school committee, and some of the finance committee members were there. And then that took about an hour. Then we finally finished about 7:30, 7:45. Yesterday was Tuesday. I think I took more phone calls, answered some emails. This morning I had a message on Facebook, answered that at about 6 o'clock, went to the gym, which is, I don't know, I haven't been enjoying the news lately, so I listen to comedy. I'm hoping at some point that'll rub off and I'll be funny. So the thing I'd like to talk about today is regionalization. So regionalization is kind of a zombie. You knock it back and it comes back alive. People keep noticing this. The first time Granby tried to regionalize was around 1990, 1992. Sharon and I just got married and we were living in South Hadley. It was particularly ugly on South Hadley's part. South Hadley, there was a strong faction that was opposed to it. Granby actually voted in favor of regionalization. South Hadley, one of my neighbors on the school committee, and he had started out as a no on regionalization, looked at the evidence, changed his mind, and some guy punched him in the face outside of Food Mart. He now lives in Long Meadow. Over the years, people have taken regionalization as a silver bullet. It's going to solve all of our problems. We will save money, our budget will be better, and that's just not the case necessarily. We don't know if it will save any money. It will certainly save money in some aspects of the school budget, but it could cost more in other aspects of the school budget. The school committee has explored it, I think several years ago. They explored it, and a few years ago they explored it again. The thing is, we really have to look at it this time for a couple of reasons. One is that, like, the financial reasons, first of all, are that the high school needs major work. We did a feasibility study on that in 2010, and the heating and ventilation needs to be replaced. We would want to add air conditioning, really expensive. The electrical system's outdated. That would probably have to be gutted, pulled out, and rewired. Very expensive. Then you would have to abate the many things that are not toxic or dangerous to people now, but they would have to be removed. One of those things is PCVs, which are located in caulking. Other things would be asbestos. So we had asbestos tile on the floors of the high school. The solution at the time was to cover it with carpeting. There's no danger, the air is fine, but all these things would have to be addressed if we were to upgrade the high school. And a new high school would probably be out of the question. East Meadow cost, how much it cost when it finally came through. It came in less expensive actually than we had budgeted for. But I think maybe $34 million was the cost. The cost of the town was between 15 and 16 million, and the tax increase was at least 7%. A high school at this point in time would probably cost upwards of 90 or 100 million to build brand new, and that would be, we couldn't raise taxes high enough to pay for that. So that's definitely a financial concern. One of the things that we would look into with regionalization is whether it would benefit our students. Would the opportunities of a regional school be better than the opportunities that we currently have at Granby High School? So that's another reason why we need to look at it. Third reason is if we decide to renovate Granby High School, we would want to put this whole issue of regionalization to bed. We do not want to go forward with asking for a tax override with people saying, well, why don't we regionalize? So one way or another, regionalization is going to be killed dead or proved feasible, and it will be up to the town. And statute says, I think it says that the school committee and the select board can decide whether to proceed in the process, but ultimately the decision comes down to the town. And it comes down specifically by statute, by Massachusetts general laws, comes down to town meeting. There will not be a ballot box vote because it would not be valid. It would have to go to town meeting. So that would be the end of the process. Along the way, there are several opportunities for the town meeting to vote, whether to proceed, whether to allocate money, etc. My intention is that we bring everything to town meeting to begin with. So it starts out with a planning committee. The planning committee is actually just 3 people. They do preliminary investigations, see if there's actually a community that would like to partner with us and look at some of the issues involved. If we proceed, the town proceeds to the next step, we go to what's called a regional planning board. That would be more serious, and we'd start looking very deeply into everything. We'd have a partner at that point, and we'd start hammering out the details. Again, the town is going to have a say in that matter. And finally, it ends with, are you going to regionalize or not? And that would be, I think, a town meeting decision too. Having looked at one study done by North Brookfield, there are a lot of factors that go into regionalization that people don't consider. It's not a simple process. From everything from all the teachers would have to have the same contract, which means renegotiating contracts with the receiving district. So if we were to go to a different district, we would have to renegotiate the contract. That's an issue. You have to look at the curriculum. You have to align the curriculum. You have to look at the technology. So you're going to look at the technology and whether that matters. Receiving district is going to have to look at, do they have the capacity? I'm pretty sure any district that might receive us would have the actual capacity to house our students. Definitely, at least at the high school, because we have about 200 students that are in Granby High School now. So that would be, enrollment is declined so much across the board that pretty much every school has the capacity to take more students. So that's kind of where we're at. My concern and my intention, I believe strongly in democracy, which means in the end you are having as many people involved in the decision as possible. And what's going to be important for the first committee, the planning committee, is that not only people have the information they need, but also that they have the opportunity to discuss it with other people. It's not enough to just have information shoved at you. You need an opportunity to ask questions. You need an opportunity to talk about it with other people. So this is called deliberation. When we talk about democracy, we need deliberation. After talking with the school committee chair, the schools have already done some of this. So we're a step ahead in terms of the organization necessary to do that. So that's where we are today. I don't know what else to tell you. I have a meeting tonight on something else. I have a meeting tomorrow on something else. And then I have I don't know what to call it, a public appearance. So the select board is representative of the town. Red Fire Farm is kicking off a fundraising event. Our bigger, more important political people like our state reps and our state senator will be there. And so representing the town, I will be there on Friday. Next week we'll do something else. I'm sure I'm going to have emails. I'm sure I'm going to have Facebook. I started Facebook now 12 years ago. I'm calling it Granby Connects now. And that started 12 years ago. And I won't talk about things that would be considered deliberation with my colleagues. So most of the stuff I talk about will be things we've already discussed as a board, because you're not supposed to talk about things that the board might consider later on. It's actually a violation of the open meeting law. So that's where we're at for today. Talking to you today from my home office, which is the first thing I had a home office probably about 20 or 25 years ago. It's still in various states of assembly. I have some of the walls decorated. I got a keyboard in here, but I do a lot of my work in here. So I'm going to try and do a video every day. It may not be informative. It might be me just trying to tell jokes. I don't really know. But I read a thing today. The guy said, try and do videos for 100 days straight, and maybe you'll get good at it. I don't know if I'll get good at it, but I'm going to do it as long as I can and as often as I can. So keep the faith. Everything kind of depends on all of us together, not just me, not just the board, but town meeting, townspeople, everybody at least thinking about what's going on, talking with their friends and neighbors, and working together.